Hey everyone, my name is Daniel, an indie game dev working on a shooting up roguelike game called Saw. But besides that, I love to create art. Whether this is a creepy black and white piece, some cute and simple character, a watercolor landscape, or pixel art, which apparently is the topic of this video. It would be a bit boring though if it was a classic how to pixel art, because I already did that like half a year ago. Today we are focusing on color in pixel art. Not just color theory, I will show you the most popular coloring styles, when and how to use these techniques and how to get good colors. To get a little more out of this topic, I also include lighting as well as some color effects. In case this is your starting point for pixel art, this may not be the perfect way to start. I recommend you watch my other pixel art related video first, which will tell you everything you need to know, ranging from the setup to line art and details. After that you can return to this one and get better at coloring. If you still want to get better at coloring first, I put a link in the description where you can download the uncolored characters I use in this video for free. I created them from scratch, so this is my gift to you. To begin our coloring journey, we first need some sort of starting point, like a color scheme or just one color. But for pixel art, I actually highly recommend pre-made color palettes. Usually they have some very close colors and then some contrasting ones to that, which makes it look retro and old school. And that's what most people want to achieve with pixel art after all. My personal go-to website for retro palettes is Lospec. And the cool thing is there, you can filter the palettes by the number of colors in it. So you can easily find a 1-bit or 6-color palette. In my opinion, it looks pretty good when you just take more colors the bigger the artwork is. Now let's talk about choosing your own colors. I personally just choose a color that I like for the biggest area of the character. Of course, this is not too bright and saturated. Now let's do the same with the other parts, but this time we also need to pay attention that these colors work well together with our first one. By the way, if you're confused by all the color related terms, I also made a video on color theory a few weeks ago. Back to this video, I now want to talk about color schemes. And to be honest, they're quite the same as a color palette, but the only disadvantage is that you need to adjust the brightness and saturation yourself. Now that you've got good colors, you can fill your artwork with some of them so you got the flat colors. I already created a few characters, so we don't need to care about design and line art today. But as said, you can use those characters as well. Now that we've got the flat colors, we are ready to add shadows and highlights. But in what style should we do so? Some people might want to create simple and hard lighting, and other people want to create soft lighting. In the case of soft lighting, you may need to adjust your color palette a little so we have enough colors to blend. You can also play a little with color variation, as I did with this character. Lastly, there's also the option to color the outlines or leave them out completely. Besides these, there's another option of dithering, where you draw a specific pattern to soften out a shadow without even taking another color. This is commonly used for bigger artworks with just 2 colors. There are quite a few different patterns and they can add some extra interest and detail to your artwork. I also recommend dithering for the background if you work with a limited number of colors. Palettes do also decide about the style, as you can see here. The 2 on the left look a lot more minimalistic than the ones on the right, because there were just a lot fewer colors of the left artworks. Now that you know this, we can start shading. My light source is on the top, so I draw the shadow on the bottom. You always need to draw the shadow on the other side, then your light source is on. So if the light was coming from the right, the shadow is on the left. And if it was coming from the bottom, the shadow was on the top. If you're also making your own color palette, make sure to change the hue a little for the shade. Shading with slightly different colors makes the artwork a lot more interesting. Look at this character for example. Here it is without colored shadows, and here it is with colored shadows. I think you can see what I mean. But when doing colored lighting, you also need to pay attention that the colors you choose actually work well together. Here's a character with colored lighting where the colors don't work well together. Here it is where the colors work well together, and here where there's no colored lighting at all. I think you can easily tell which one is the best of these 3. Now for highlights, the light source is on the top again, so we'll also draw the highlight on the top. You can also add a little color overlay for some extra variation, and to finish everything off, I also added a background. And that's all you need to know to color your pixel art. As said at the beginning, the uncolored characters are available for you to download for free, and I'd also like to see how you color them, so make sure to post your result on social media and mention me. I'm both on Instagram and Twitter. It would also mean the world to me if you subscribe to the channel and like this video. With all that said, I hope I will see you next time. Cheers!